Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my NFL predictions. That's right, college football guy doing NFL predictions. I missed the Cowboys Eagles game yesterday because I got called into work early and I prioritized my college football video and whatnot, and then obviously schoolwork and whatnot. And then I got called in, so I just had to take the L on the prediction for the Cowboys Eagles game, but my prediction would have been Cowboys 22, Eagles 30. That's what I had in mind. Um, I didn't really feel like the Cowboys were going to be too bad in this first game, but honestly, they actually looked a lot better and probably should have won this game if CD could have caught a ball. But and I'm a little worried about my prediction for them overall as the season goes on, but yeah, I would have said 22 to 30. I won't count that as a prediction though because I didn't write it down. So we're starting off with Chiefs versus Chargers, but before we do that, like and subscribe, help a comment always helps. This is in another country. Mr. Beast has like a huge announcement or something. I really cool what he's doing. The fact that it's free on YouTube, that everybody can watch it, that is so cool. It's so cool of him to do. And I'm actually really excited to see what is going to happen. Like, it's not just a good football game. It's also like there's something else going on. He's added a new level of oomph to it. But Chiefs versus Chargers, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, you know, he's kind of been in this weird spot. After all, it is the Chargers. They're basically like the Clippers of football. In my opinion, they just haven't really ever been anything. There's a video going around my YouTube feed saying like why you should stop being a Chargers fan or something from a previous Chargers fan. It was pretty funny, but I don't think the Chargers I don't think they're going to be as good, or I say as good like they were really that good last year. They got torched by the Texans. It wasn't really even close. But I do think they will be competitive. You know, they were competitive for the most part last year until the playoffs. The Chiefs were absolutely dominant. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as dominant this year. They were so fraudulently dominant too, and that showed in the Super Bowl. Like, how did they manage to go 15-2 when you could have gone 16-1 if you played your starters most likely? And you're getting absolutely destroyed in the Super Bowl like that. Didn't just it's like wow, really. But they got lucky in a lot of games last year. I don't think that's going to be the case going into this year. Chiefs versus Chargers though. I've got the Chiefs winning this one defensive battle. Chiefs still have a really good team on their hands. I think Rashee Rice has been suspended for I think he's been supported for or supported. Sorry, I opened up my phone to look up Rashee Rice's suspension, and it brought me to Apple support. So I've just said it out loud. Suspension. I believe it was him and somebody for the Vikings, Jordan Addison. Yeah, he's been suspended for the first 6 games. So that will hurt the wide receiver room in the Chiefs, which is already like not super crazy good. You still get Travis Kelce, who is old and washed up and he's ready to get married and put on the retirement cap, and he's ready to go live his life out in paradise, literally paradise. And you've got Xavier Worthy, who I think that's like their main guy. Rashee Rice is a good receiver as well, but he's obviously suspended, so you're kind of limited down to that. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't even know if he's on the team anymore. He sucked in the Super Bowl. He sucked for the Chiefs in general. Juju Smith-Schuster, both those guys are just washed as hell. The Chiefs are going to, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is back, so you got a bit more of a running game. But overall, you got Patrick Mahomes. I think they'll find a way to score 21 points, and the Chargers are just going to really struggle against this defense. You've got young players going up against a loaded defense. I do think I do think somebody you should keep an eye out for the Chargers is Keandre Lambert-Smith. I feel like he could become a starter and potentially become a very good receiver for the Chargers. He was really good at Penn State, and he was really good at Auburn, but he wasn't really making ripples and whatnot, and he ended up being like I think it was like a 5th round or something. I don't know. I don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong. but he was really good, and he looked really good in some of the preseason performance. And I think you should keep an eye out for him for the Chargers. And I don't think this first game is super telling of how the Chargers are going to play throughout the year, but I do think the Chiefs get the win here. Cardinals at Saints. I also would like to, if you haven't seen it yet, redirect you to my preseason predictions for the regular season of the NFL. You don't even have to watch it. Just go look at the records of teams so you can get an idea of what I think of every team. Because I did every team, and if you want to watch, it's a damn hour long. So get some food. But Cardinals at Saints. A lot of people are picking the Saints to win this one. If there's anything I know as a Cardinals fan, it's that Kyler Murray starts off hot, and then when October rolls around, he goes cold. I think the Cardinals are I would say underrated. There's definitely a conversation about them being a good football team. Some people have them as one of the best, if not the best team in our conference, but that's not the majority of people. That's about 15%. So I wouldn't say we're crazy underrated, but Marvin Harrison Jr. bulking up. He's got to create separation. Michael Wilson had a great year. Trey McBride is one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. I would probably say top 2 behind George Kittle, if not in front of George Kittle. But for me, it's that this offense is so run heavy, and it was last year. James Conner is obviously a really good running back, but Trey Benson is bound for a breakout season. He's entering his second year now, and it's either second or third, but mainly second year being a actual running back. He's sharing snaps now with James Conner. Even behind him, you've got Amari DeMarcado, who's always a good option. And but more importantly for the Cardinals is they loaded up the defense. They loaded up in the draft. Unfortunately, our first-round pick is hurt, but Darius Robinson is ready to debut in a full season. You got Josh Sweat from the Super Bowl champion Eagles team coming over here to play with his former defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. And Will Johnson, who is poised for a defensive rookie of the year. He went straight to the starter quarterback, and his rookie performance, he was absolutely locked down in the preseason. The pass interference call on him against the Chiefs was very questionable. He looks like he's going to be a really good cornerback. You also just return an overall pretty good defense, in my opinion at least. Defense that won us a lot of games last year, got a lot of key turnovers. I think the Cardinals, to me, the only room for them is up, especially considering our schedule was so much harder last year than it is this year. And you make such improvements around the defense. You literally keep almost the entire same offense, but you make key improvements to the defense that just improves that. It's how do you expect them to be worse than what they were last year if they only made improvements to the weaker side of the ball? The defense, in terms of statistics, was the weaker side of the ball. Our offense was better. So I think the Cardinals are going to get off to a really hot start. I think if you watch my video, you'll know I have them going 9-0 to start, but then slipping off the face of the planet, finishing off 12-5. And that starts with the Saints. The Saints are they picked the quarterback from, I think it was Louisville. I don't even, it's Tyler Shook or something like that. We'll just call him Tyler. He has not looked good. Of course, people pinpoint the bad rather than the good. They'll never really show the highlights of the good, and anytime they do, they get slandered by the bad. So I do think there's some potential for the quarterback still. After all, he was picked in the second round, and they passed up Shador for this guy. So obviously, there's something they saw on him. But Alvin Kamara, still a great player. You've still got major improvements to make. I think the Saints will finish off as, I don't remember if I have them finishing dead last, but I think they will finish near dead last. I've got the Cardinals winning this one. I think our defense is just going to shut down the Saints' offense, and our offense is just going to be too much. I mean, realistically, if you run the ball consistently well in this game, if you can keep running the ball, don't turn it over. Anytime you need to pass the ball, you have Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, Greg Dortch. Like, there is so many versatile options that literally was all over the place last year for the Cardinals as well. It just slumped off the face of the planet in that stretch where we ended up going 6-4, and then we just lost those games to the Seahawks and the Vikings. I mean, granted, the Cardinals did lose a lot of close games. We won a lot of close games, so we lost a lot of close games. So we deserve to be like 8-9 or 9-8, whatever we finished. And we had a really, really hard schedule, like a ridiculously hard schedule. This year, it's not as tough. I think the Cardinals get it going this year just because of strength of schedule. But I don't have them going super far in the playoffs. 31-13, Dolphins at Colts. I think the Colts get off to a fraudulent start. Daniel Jones, I think he's going to be the starter in front of Anthony Richardson. I don't think I was making YouTube videos at the time. I'm not too sure. But I never liked Anthony Richardson as a first overall pick exiting his sophomore year. I mean, he hasn't really played any college ball. He's young. The only reason we're picking him is because he's got a super long arm and he can run, and it just never seemed like a good idea to me, and it just hasn't been. Unless he can turn it around, I don't think he will. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the starter. I'm not too sure there, though. Well, actually, I think he is because Anthony Richardson, hurt his pinky in the preseason. Dolphins, I'm not too sure if Tyreek is healthy. I'd assume so. But the Dolphins have a good football team, but I think they get off to a bad start, taking a loss at the Colts. The Colts they just get off to a good start. They play a good football game, not telling of how the season goes. Raiders at Patriots. Geno Smith is now a Raider. Ashton Jeanty poised to have a good NFL career. Travion Henderson also poised to have a really good career. He looks really good for the Patriots. Drake May entering another year. I think the Patriots could cause some trouble. Originally, in my NFL prediction video, I had the Patriots winning this game. But honestly, after further inspection, Geno Smith plus Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty in the backfield, new head coach Pete Carroll, I got to take the Raiders. Close. Both these teams are not going to be crazy good. I think the Raiders might be a bit of a sleeper team that caused some problems, but yeah, give me the Raiders. Sorry, Patriots. Steelers at Jets, another game. I mean, I kind of start off going crazy with these picks, but the Jets did it the year they played the Bills, and they ended up being horrible, and the Bills ended up being really good. Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, I think his time has come, bro. His tape in practice and whatnot, he just doesn't look like he is old. He doesn't look like he's good enough to be back there. Like, he just looks too old. And overall, the Steelers, yes, you got DK Metcalf, but you lose George Pickens, so not much changes there. I think you get Jonnu Smith from the Dolphins as well, which is a really good pickup, in my opinion. You've got a good defense. TJ Watt just got paid. And I think the Steelers still will be an all right team, finishing where they normally will. And Justin Fields going up against his former team, not the Bears. I don't think it's really the same, but going up against his former team. New life is in the Jets with Justin Fields. There's been a lot of hype around him recently, at least from what I've seen. And he's got some good targets. It's just going to be about the team around him, like the offensive line and defense and stuff like that. Problems that only Jets will ever have. I think the Jets start off with an early victory. Early surprising victory against the Steelers, but again, not telling of how the season goes. Giants at Commanders. Give me the Giants. Just kidding. Sorry, Cam Scatterby. I love you, bro, but hitting the road against the Commanders first week of football. The Commanders are going to be a pretty good football team. Relatively good football team. I think they will not have as good of a season as they did last year. But the Giants, Jackson Dart looks pretty good. I think they're going to give Russell Wilson the start, which I don't really like that. I think they're going to give Russell Wilson the start. Jameis is hilarious. And I hope Cam Scatterby gets some touches. I hope he does good because I want to see Brody play. And Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin ended up getting paid. I don't think he got paid nearly as much as he wanted to, but he ended up getting paid. And the Commanders, in my opinion, I just think they're taking a step back from last season. I think last season was kind of a fluke. A lot of games ended up being fluke wins. But the Giants, they're not. They got another year. They got another year, in my opinion. I want to say they go playoffs, but they got another year. It's gonna take a little bit. No, that's the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys. No, never mind. I'm just yapping. I say the Commanders get a win here. Panthers at Jaguars. I say the Panthers get a win here in a high-scoring game. I like the Jaguars' new head coach. I like what decisions he made. Travis Hunter plus Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. I think they've got quite the setup. You lose Evan Ingram, which he was actually a pretty good tight end, in my opinion. But the Jaguars' main situation was their defense last year. I don't think there is many changes to the defense that is going to make it significantly improve. Same thing with the Panthers. Panthers had a horrendous defense, but Bryce Young started to find his groove with the Panthers. You got Xavier Legette, and Adam Thielen is gone now, but you got Teddy McMillan, who I think is going to break out as a receiver. He's just got the build for it. He's just a really good receiver. He was dominant in college no matter what team he played against. I think he'll carry a decent bit of that over, and I think as long as Bryce Young continues to play how he played last year, the Panthers will take this one in a high-scoring game. Bengals at Browns. I think this one is going to be a lot closer than people would like it to be. I think the Bengals, gosh, dude, literally, I cannot make these videos and not get a stuffy nose. I don't understand. I literally don't understand. I'm not sick, nothing. It's like my nose don't be stuffy the whole time. My goodness. I have to literally, dude, it is the worst thing ever. But Bengals at Browns. I think the Bengals are actually, like a lot of people are saying, they're a top 8 team. I've seen that on so many posts. And people think they're going to make the playoffs. I do think they have a really good shot at making the playoffs. But, man, Joe Burrow needs some help, bro. He's a great quarterback, great receivers. But it's like the Bengals are so – they want to pour it into these 2 receiver ones and a really good quarterback and stuff, but their defense is just getting destroyed, and their O-line is just it's got to get fixed. I think T. Higgins or Jamar, I would really not suggest Jamar, but I think T. Higgins, the best option is for him to go, man. I think the Browns, depending on who they end up starting, I think the Browns are going to be sneaky. I think they're going to play a competitive game, but not like how the final score will look. I think it's going to be like 2 touchdown game for majority of it, but yeah. Bucks at Falcons. High-scoring game here. High-scoring game. Baker and Michael Penix go at it. Baker and Michael Penix absolutely go head-to-head here, and Baker ends up being the winner. Emeka Egbuka is supposedly a good target who's going to fill in the spot of Chris Godwin. You also got Mike Evans. And the Bucks have been a really good, sneaky team. They should have beat the Commanders last year. But the Falcons, on the other hand, once they started Michael Penix, I saw the potential. Every game was a high-scoring shootout because the Falcons don't have a defense. But Penix, dude, he's got a great arm, man. Like some of the passes he makes, he's a really, really good quarterback. I think he's going to be the next breakout quarterback. He didn't really get much of an opportunity last year playing behind Kirk Cousins. And then he did, but he wasn't winning games. He was just losing high-scoring affairs. And I think he is the next big breakout quarterback, dude. I think he's going to be super good for the Falcons. But Bucks take this one. Still 49ers at Seahawks. Sam Darnold gets a rude awakening. He's not surrounded by the primetime talent that the Vikings had. He's moving down to the Seahawks level. You still got Jackson Smith and Jigba, but you lose DK Metcalf. And the Seahawks, placing that big dollar sign around Sam Darnold, I think it's a mistake. I think the 49ers torch him in week 1. Titans at Broncos. Cam Ward's debut is going to be against the best defense in the NFL. Unfortunate. Give me the Broncos. Bo Nix, he's a good quarterback. They're going to make some ripples on the offense. I cannot remember the running back's name for the life of me for the Broncos that they picked up in the draft, but give me the Broncos here. Lions at Packers. Originally, I had the Lions winning this one, but as you can assume, with the recent changes, I think the Packers, going into this, it's going to be hype. It's going to be hype in the Packers Stadium, even more than it was going to be in Week 1 because you got that huge addition to the team. I think the Packers are going to take this one. I think they're going to take it. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to take an early dub against the Lions. The Lions are the team I have winning the Super Bowl this year, so that kind of changes things. Texans at Rams. C.J. Stroud has a lot of proving wrong to do, in my opinion. A lot of people were like, C.J. Stroud is the answer. C.J. Stroud is the answer. Then he had a drop off in his second year. The world has turned their back against him. He's completely fallen off. I think, or I wouldn't say completely fallen off. People still have him regarded as a good quarterback, but nowhere near what they were putting him originally, and he's kind of just been forgotten about. I think the Texans are going to cook. At least, I think they're going to cook, but not cook at the same time. I think they're going to lose a lot of close games this year, but Texans at Rams, I have them winning it early. Matthew Stafford has some issues going on with his body. Devontae Adams is not going to propel this team to such a better team. Puka Nacua is a really good receiver. I think the Rams they finished off as a really good team last year. They honestly should have beat the Eagles, but I think the Texans get the early win on the road and pretty significantly. Ravens at Bills. I didn't even have to change the score. When I was making this, the score that was already written was 32-35, and that just clicked. That just clicked for me. I think the Bills take this game early against the Ravens. I don't remember if I had the Ravens or the Bills in this one, but I just think the Bills, I don't know. I was originally thinking, hey, I got the Ravens, but it just clicked. When I saw this, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good final score right there. Bills take it. Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. Huge matchup. Bills got to do it, bro. They got to do it this year. Vikings at Bears. I believe this is our last game. Yeah, I think this is our last game. J.J. McCarthy starts off against the Bears. And I think that the Bears get the win here. Close game. Coming down to probably a game-winning field goal, but I think the Bears get it. J.J. McCarthy, I think he's got potential, but he was struggling. He's been struggling recently in some recent tape. Gets his first actual NFL start, real full game. I think he's going to struggle a bit, especially since Jordan Addison is out for, I think, 3 games, and that seems to be his favorite target over Justin Jefferson, but I think the Vikings take the L here in Week 1. But again, not telling of how the season goes. That is my NFL predictions for Week 1. Let me know what you think of your predictions in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, put a help, a comment. Always helps. That's all from me. Adios.